Welcome to Around the Reel with your hosts, Aaron Carlson, Charles Lawson, and Samantha Hanna. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Lick the pop filter, bro.
Yeah, why don't you just lick it?
Get up in there.
If I lick it, it's mine.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Tot.
All right.
But anyways, so that's one of the things that we're working on is some documentaries. We were originally thinking of doing. We had the idea to do it just to try and get monetary assets so that we would continue to make movies while we were doing COVID. Mm-hmm. But then Aaron and I, started the podcast and got this going. But Sam got disappointed when we weren't following up with documentaries, and she said, "Screw you guys, I'll take it over, and I'm going to start researching stuff." And we were like, "Yes," because the whole thing is a team effort. I mean, the CCC Entertainment Group is the 3 people in this room and 3 people who aren't in this room, which are Kelvin and Ginger and Amber.
Yep.
Quit! Please don't do that this entire time because it's really annoying when you have to listen to that.
I know. I'm sorry. Try not to hit the stands. They're hollow.
Okay.
If you talk with your hands, yeah.
No, I'm just going to be nursing my coffee the entire time.
Perfect.
You are in good shape. Well, we've been recording, so welcome to the show.
Hello.
Welcome to Around the Reel.
Yes, we are here. And I'm not supposed to embarrass Sam today.
I've asked him several times
It's going to be the
not
quietest
to,
show
but
for Aaron ever.
Yeah,
if he doesn't embarrass me, it will be like a miracle.
No, please go ahead because you'll take the edge off of me.
I'll
Because
give
I'm
it
just going to be
5.
embarrassing myself the entire time,
Oh,
too.
no.
We'll see. So you and I are in the same place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solidarity.
Nothing embarrassing about this girl.
So, Sam, when you say you don't want Aaron to embarrass you, is it because of the questions that he asks other people? Is it just the things that come out of his mouth? What is the most embarrassing thing about Aaron? Or is it just the booger coming out of his nose?
It's
not boogers.
pretty much everything.
I got great boogers.
It's everything. Yeah. It's everything he says, every face he makes, everything he does.
So, Aaron, can you just be like you, but
Can you be somebody else today,
Yeah,
Aaron?
watch this. I'll be really proper. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Around the Reel. I'm your host, Aaron.
See, even
our
that sucks.
co-host, Chuck,
Stop.
and Samantha Hanna. Today we have a wonderful guest here on our program. This is Grace Wallis.
I'm waving at you. You can't see me. But
She's waving at us right now. Isn't this a wonderful family?
No, you didn't even introduce her right. So.
I know, because I can't fucking do it.
Dude, this is so
Okay.
awkward.
So, welcome
See,
to our
that's
life.
exactly what it's not supposed to be. See, you're ruining it.
How did I ruin it already?
You're being awkward.
No way. We're good.
we've had 5 laughs in the first 4 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good so far.
We're doing fine.
It's just the coffee.
Wait, but yours wasn't
So
spiked.
high.
I know.
Well,
Yours
Sam
isn't spiked.
actually, on the way here, she was like, I claim this guest. I'm like, what do you fucking mean you claim?
I said she's mine.
She's mine. You have your people, I have mine. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't even know. How do you own somebody before they even get here? How do you own anybody in the first
I
place?
call her. I get to talk to her the most. I called her.
Because you're the
That's
scheduling
true.
coordinator.
So, and I picked her, so she's mine. She's mine.
We've been stalking each other.
Yeah.
I know, I heard that.
So,
I heard that.
Sorry.
Wow.
I mean, you can have other people, but she's
so
mine.
we can't say anything to her, Grace? Apparently we can't talk to you.
You
so.
can say stuff to her, just not a lot.
Okay, great.
Grace,
All right. Well,
hello.
Hi, Grace.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
I know, it's weird now.
That's
It's
okay.
never. It's always and never weird.
Let's just get the
Yeah.
awkward pause out of the way.
It is always and
I
never
love
weird.
that.
No, the awkward pause is usually after I say something under everybody talking over me. Mm-hmm. Everybody stops and does. Mm-hmm. What was that?
You'll say
Did he
I
really
don't
just
know.
say that?
You will do it. All right. Well, Grace, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay, so I'm I always say a Seattle-based composer, but that makes sense because we're in Seattle now. But yeah, so I'm a film composer. I work at the moment, almost exclusively with people in the Seattle area. So I've been hearing quite a lot of talk about Blue Forge, and I'm familiar with Jennifer DeMarco and Angela DeMarco, and I've done a couple of films that Angela's been in. Sierra, I've been composing film music for 3 years, but
Okay.
I wanted to do it like way back in high school, but I kind of like tried to be a good girl for a while. And then I was just
That's
like,
really
I'm
hard to
done
do.
with
Does
that.
being composing make you a bad
I was
girl?
going to say, why does that?
Oh, because I was raised in a really conservative
Okay.
area, and yeah, so they're like,
You
"Be
were
a good
supposed to have a
girl."
logistic type job.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I'm done with that lifestyle. I left it behind me forever, and now I'm doing film composing. So I've been doing that for 3 years, and a year ago I graduated from the Pacific Northwest Film Scoring School with Dr. Hami Man.
The master's program?
Yeah, do you know? Oh, did I tell you about
No,
that? Okay.
I read it on
She's-
your IMDb.
As you guys said, you guys are stalking each other.
Yeah.
She's
See, I'm
actually
a good
fucking
stalker. I'm a
prepared.
really good stalker.
I don't know shit about our guests before they get here. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Every guest-
and that's
every
why
guest
you
we've had so
suck,
far, we've
and-
known.
I'm lying.
Except for
I know a
Carson.
few things about Grace. I want to
I mean-
ask her. I know what she's doing.
Well, see, this is the thing about Grace, though.
Okay.
The more you look at who she is, the more you want to know because she's so interesting and she's got
Really?
so much. Yes,
Don't sound
she's
surprised.
so
It's-
talented.
Well, I just like sit in a studio all day long, tapping away at a computer, making noise.
Okay,
I don't know
well,
what's so interesting
if
about that.
the most exciting thing, the very, very most coolest thing that you do that I want to speak about is the
Well, can I tell you first what I do when I'm at home by myself in a
nobody
room? No.
wants
Okay,
to
great.
hear about that at all. The
Sorry.
resourceful
Dying.
practice project. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
So
YouTube
let's
channel.
talk about that.
So basically, I told you that I was raised in like a conservative community and whatnot. I was basically raised out in the sticks, so there wasn't a lot of opportunity for music education and all of that. And so I felt like very hampered by my lack of talent, which was really my lack of opportunities. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that talent is a bunch of, it's not what we think it is. People are like, geniuses born, not made, and good
I'm
job.
so sorry. That's my fault. I'm listening. Go ahead. Keep going.
And the more you get into like the neuroscience perspective, you realize that it's just a bunch of bilge. You have to build talent, and a lot of that comes from having resources to good teachers, or at least examples of people who can show you how to learn effectively. And so I've really been getting into that for like the last, I think, 10 years or so. And I realized recently that I wanted to bring resources to people who don't have them or don't know how to use them, because now that we are in the internet age, we can actually go onto YouTube or go onto a web page and find out how to play the trumpet. But it's really hard to know how to actually learn from those resources, because they're like, oh yeah, obviously you press the buttons and it does the thing. But actually figuring out how to make it work is a different process. And so my journey is to learn, currently, is to learn all of the instruments, the major instruments of the orchestra, which is a bigger undertaking than I think I...
Yeah.
So-
She's challenged herself to learn all the orchestral instruments
Without a teacher.
in a year.
And that's
And
what
that's
your
what the
YouTube
YouTube
page is.
page
Yeah.
is.
So watching you learn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking cool.
So wait,
Yeah.
so the clarinet is your new
Yeah.
one that you're taking on? Because I just saw that post yesterday.
Yeah.
Or just I might have just stalked her yesterday.
Yeah, so I just finished up the oboe, and I spent the last week working on the clarinet, and my YouTube channel is like 1 week behind, so I actually have time to edit everything.
Yeah.
So I just finished my first week on clarinet. It's way easier than the oboe. But there are like different challenges in terms of like the clarinet has a lot more things that you have to do with your pinkies all over the place than the oboe does. All these instruments are just like really fascinatingly interesting and different, and they all have like the different challenges, and if you don't have a teacher, you won't know how to actually get a sound out of this thing that you're blowing into.
Right.
So who's teaching you to learn these?
Me.
You are.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
So we're basically watching you learn
Yeah.
these things.
Well, I did spend some time prepping before I even got to the flute.
Just like researching and getting to know the instrument, or do you already know all the instruments?
Oh, no. God,
Okay.
no. I hadn't touched a wind instrument before I picked up the flute at all.
wow.
Holy shit.
But I play the violin a little bit, but like badly. So I actually spent a couple of months working on my technique and studying how to learn the violin before I got into the flute. And I discovered so many really, really fascinating things about advanced learning. Because the moment you start filming yourself, the moment you start to become aware of all these things that you just didn't notice before, and actually making that like a habit in your practice sessions is like just incredibly effective, and people don't even realize that. So,
Wow.
Very cool.
So how many instruments have you learned so far?
including the ones I knew before,
Yes, man.
Yeah.
How many do you know?
I don't know.
So many you don't even know?
Going through the
that's good.
functionality...
That means she knows a lot.
I was a
Is that
musician
what I'm
100 years ago, so going through the functionality of an instrument is one thing, but which instruments move you the most?
In terms of like emotionally?
Yeah, when you play them and you realize how to play it and make sure you feel
Can I guess this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it the piano?
No.
Oh, gosh. Okay, did you start off playing the piano, though?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one? So answer the question, because now I really want to know.
Violin.
Really?
For sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's incredibly difficult. It's very, very difficult just to get any sort of decent sound out of it. It punishes you for the first 2 years that you pick it up. It's just like, put me down, put me down. And fortunately, the wind instruments aren't that awful. So I feel like I'm cheating a little bit, because by the time I get to the stringed instruments, I'll have a better idea of how to actually handle them. With the wind instruments, I have no idea whatsoever. And I because my channel series is like learning the flute in 1 month, learning the oboe in 1 month. By the time I get to learning the violin in 1 month, people are like, "Ooh, I can learn the violin in 1 month." 1 month? No.
No, it's not like that.
Sorry, it doesn't work that way.
So how long have you been doing this page? The YouTube page?
Let's see here. Well, I officially launched it 2 months ago.
Okay.
But it hasn't been public. I first decided to make it public 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Because when I went on YouTube, because I was looking her up, I only saw some older things that you did. There's only a few things on there.
Because you're not a good stalker, so you didn't look hard enough.
You're not creepy enough, Carlson.
Dude, I can be creepy.
Keep trying.
I can be creepy.
Oh, he can be creepy. Don't
I got
challenge
this.
him,
Yeah,
please.
I'm a pretty
Please
good
don't
actor.
challenge
I'm good at it. No, that's cool. What inspired you to do that again? Like to come up with that idea, just to get others to show them it can be done?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah, I want to. I don't know if you know who Dr. Anders Ericsson is.
I don't.
I did an entire video about him. But basically, do you know what deliberate practice is?
If I break it down definition-wise, I think I can figure it out. But now I don't know what it is.
Tell
off
our
the top of my head.
listeners what it is.
Yeah, please.
So deliberate practice, what most people assume deliberate practice is anyway, is like when you take your practice and you practice deliberately.
Right.
No shit. But
Imagine that.
That would have been my answer, actually.
Right.
Whew.
so basically people assume that is when
Sure.
you're not just like going through the motions, when you're actively engaged. And actually, the actual definition of deliberate practice is different from that because it is rooted in instruction.
Okay.
Because deliberate practice, by definition, by Dr. Anders Ericsson, is the absolute most effective learning method possible. And it comes from a combination of having a good instructor who can tell you how to approach it in the most effective manner, and then actually approaching it in that effective manner.
Is that for all learning types, too?
It's mostly for musical instruments because that is the most measurable.
Okay.
But there are other disciplines where that can apply to as well. For example, dance and sports. But then there are some crafts like carpentry where that becomes a little bit more difficult. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you go into what most people assume deliberate practice is, and that is actually what Dr. Anders Ericsson refers to as purposeful practice, which is basically unguided. So you're approaching the process in a really focused manner, but you don't know the best way to actually get there.
Okay.
So the reason
kind of
why
like our podcast.
A little bit, yeah.
So the reason why this is important is because, like I said, when I was growing up, I kept on comparing my playing, which was unfocused. I didn't have proper teaching, or any examples of what it meant to practice well, with people who did have teachers and were practicing well. And I thought, oh, this is a lack of talent.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And
Okay.
I think that is a mindset that still permeates our society. Is it's all about talent? No, it's about what have you got and what are you doing with it.
Right.
And
Right.
so trying to close that gap has become very important for me recently.
That's good.
good.
That's good. And that's what we try to... We say the same thing in our show. That's
Yes,
what
we
we're
do.
trying to
That's
talk
what
to
we
other
try to
creatives
do.
Not as
about.
eloquently as
No,
she did.
she talks way fucking better than we do.
Way better.
But yeah.
Anyway.
But no, I get exactly what you're saying. That's cool. Earlier you said something about a conservative community. What is that? What is that?
Are you comfortable talking about that?
I can go over it basically, but
Okay.
Because I've never heard of that before.
just think conservative Christianity, evangelicals
okay,
who
gotcha.
have
Gotcha.
these very strict ideas of how you should conduct your life and what women should be.
Okay. All right.
We're with you now.
So yeah, I didn't know.
Did you grow up
Well.
locally?
No, I grew up in Southeast Oregon.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty conservative down there. It's a huge community of conservative.
Do you,
I have no idea.
No,
I was going to
okay.
say, like, what do you even know about it?
I don't know nothing.
Have you
Okay.
even been there?
I don't know, maybe.
Probably not.
It's not Burley.
I think so.
It's not
It can't
Parkland.
be.
Yeah,
It's probably not
We
much
don't have
different.
a Starbucks cup from there.
It's park now. We haven't been that far yet, have we? Shit. Oh, man. So you got started in music basically just by grabbing instruments and starting.
So we had a very out of tune upright piano, just like
Just like Chuck does.
If you're going to say the joke, speak into the microphone. It's funnier that way.
I know, but I just don't like it.
This lovely woman came to my home today. I made her a cup of coffee, and she walked over and saw our upright piano and played a few notes and then closed it. And she was like, wow.
This sounds like shit.
Basically.
She didn't say that, but we all knew what she meant.
Yes, it needs a good tuning, much like most of the things in my house, actually.
So it's really PTSD is going on there because I grew up with a piano. It's like,
Oh, that's why she closed it. She was like, wow, flashback.
flashback.
So
yeah.
funny. That's funny.
Now I'm all stiff because you're taking pictures.
I'm so sorry.
Like,
I told you. I
smile.
warned you.
So when you don't see them coming in your, because I saw some of your pictures from you conducting.
Yeah,
And
there's a whole
very,
video.
yeah, they're very nice.
She's intense.
She's not, because she's not focusing on anything around her. She's focusing.
She's
on
in her flow
front.
state.
Yeah.
Well,
Flow
and
state.
you could
flow
you
state.
conduct your own pieces, correct? Or just your own pieces, or not just your own?
So the conducting and the entire orchestra and that whole project was part of the Pacific Northwest Film Scoring Program.
Okay.
That was our final project, the video that you see there. We also, that one wasn't actually for a film, but we did conduct and record live for some student films as part of the program. So I think we did.
So was Orion a student film? No, because it said the end credits.
Yeah. So this was like, if there was a film that you could compose for, if you could compose for your dream film, what would you write?
Okay.
Yeah, and mine just so happened to be the story of Orion.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow.
But in terms of conducting my own work, I haven't had the budget yet to have an orchestra of any size. I do a lot of recording with solo artists or with small ensembles.
Okay.
But nothing on as grand of a scale as that project.
So you do live sounds basically and record them for your composing. Okay, that was going to be one of my questions for you. I didn't know if you just use a lot of plugins and do your thing, or do you go ahead and...
It can be a combination sometimes.
I kind of figured. Yeah, when we were working with Kelvin, that's what he was talking about, like the same thing. We learned a lot from the composer we worked with for the Outrider and stuff. And
Yeah, I
Listen.
listened to.
yeah.
I used one of my senses to listen to that podcast. Yes.
Well, good. But yeah, it's kind of fun picking your guys' brains because I'm still like trying to wrap my head around how you come up with the song beats or the cues that you guys do without hearing other music in your head. Like every time, I know like Chuck was talking about, like we do the same thing with characters. Yeah, I guess so, but it's still, how do you sit there and you're watching something and not go, "Dun, dun, 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 dun." Oh wait, I can't use that. That's John Williams. You know, those are so embedded in you. How do you come up with something new? Like a new beat?
It's just
That's
there.
the challenge.
If you were to describe that tree outside, what would you say?
It's big.
So would you? Is
tree.
that how you see things? You put music to things.
Yeah, it comes almost immediately.
So you just hear it.
Aaron
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that too, but we're in the car and we're listening to the radio, and he just says, "Look at that guy walk with this song."
Oh yeah, because you can see it. I've always said that since I was a kid. I did
You're
that.
driving down the road and you give somebody their own theme song.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what he does.
Yeah, it was in the. God, I was going to the airport when I was
All
a kid.
copyrighted though.
Yeah. No, when I was going to the airport, when I dropped my
copyright.
dad off with my mom at the airport when I was a kid, and I was walking through the thing that goes over the, what's that air bridge thing they got at the airport usually?
Sky Bridge.
Yeah, the Sky Bridge. Okay, I'm walking through that, and for some reason I felt like I was in a movie when I was a kid. So I just tried to walk cool, and I kept hearing,
He still
Glenn
tries to
Fry,
walk
You
cool.
Belong to the City was in my head, and I kept doing it. All the way home, I imagined a camera on me the whole time. So every move I made and everything I did was important to feel like I was a cool guy in the movie. I did that for years. Even when I went to the bus stop to school, when I'm at school, I always thought there was a camera on me because there was music playing in my head.
Welcome to my life.
So you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It's weird. It's weird.
It's fun.
Yeah, I love it.
do you
Having
feel like
music
there's a-
in your head just makes you happy.
I know. It does. It does.
That's why
all the
Kelvin's
time.
so happy.
He's a happy motherfucker.
He is a happy guy. He's a very happy guy.
Yes.
He's sometimes
Not to mention that he's doing what he loves to do. And doesn't have
Sorry,
to
sorry. There's too much going on.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
One at a time.
He's sometimes annoyingly optimistic. I mean, don't get me wrong. We love Kelvin to death, but sometimes it's like, dude, a hurricane just came through and took out like the block that was right behind you, and but you're having a good day. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just
He's positive.
Yeah,
What's
he
wrong
is
with
very
that?
positive.
Like negative Nancy?
It's because we work real jobs, and he's living his dream. And when
And
you
you're
live your dream-
jealous. is
Fucking
what
jealous.
it is.
Fucking A right.
Oh my
Son
God.
of a bitch.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's just working on a happy project.
He's always a happy guy.
He's
though. He gets
really
to-
always happy.
Okay.
He lives in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but he gets to do what he loves every day. Well, I mean, do you have a day job?
No.
So you get to do it too.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
And that's why she smiles so
Breathe,
much.
Aaron.
Fuckers.
Well, it can be very tiring, though, like trying to be creative all day long, every day.
Oh, I bet.
I can imagine.
That's fun though, man. Okay, so you
It's very satisfying.
I bet it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
that's that I love that word. We've been using that word.
Yeah, we have yesterday when I was cleaning cobwebs.
Yeah. She
That
was-
was that was fucking satisfying. When you suck
Satisfying.
them up in the vacuum
yeah,
and they're just
satisfying.
That's
Wait, you suck them up in a vacuum.
yeah. You take the vacuum hose and you suck the cobwebs up.
Eventually,
Out
you
of
gotta
the
dump
barn?
it out.
That's what I was doing yesterday because my real job is
Cleaning up some people's shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
well,
And spiders, but it's
gives your
fine
brain more
'cause it's
room
pretty
to do that sort of
satisfying when you suck them up. and
It's
they're-
satisfying
they go,
shit.
Wow.
Oh my goodness!
Now I understand why you wanted me all to yourself.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm telling you. See, why does everyone understand where I'm coming from, guys? That's what I want to know.
It's a first.
Yeah. No, it's not a first. Are you kidding me? Like, go back and listen to all the other podcasts when everyone else says the same thing.
You're right. It's fine. You're right.
Oh, I get it. You poor thing.
So you got into scoring films. How did you meet your first filmmaker? How did you get involved in that? And what was it?
I don't know if you're familiar with Michelle Shadé.
I don't think so.
Okay, so she is like kind of one of the amoeba of the Jennifer DeMarco group.
Okay. Yeah.
But so she's friends with one of my friends that I was friends with before I was friends with this Michelle. Her name is also Michelle. And so this Michelle that was friends with me before Michelle came to me and said, hey, we're making a movie for the 48-hour film festival.
Okay.
We need a composer. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've always wanted to do this.
Okay.
And that was an awesome experience. Totally different from what I was expecting, because when you're doing a 48, as a composer, you have to compose before you see the picture most
Right.
of the time. And so they gave me a script, and they're like, write music for this. And so I was like, okay, cool. I was actually super, super nervous when we all like gathered together. And the first day I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this.
Right.
But as soon as I read the script, and I was like, writer's block, and then I went for a walk, and then all of the themes just like,
Just hit you.
yeah. And so I went back and I wrote it, and after that it was totally fine. And then I put it together, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but we made something that worked.
Oh, that's cool.
They liked it a lot. And after that, I was just like, yeah, no more good girl. Mm-mm. This is my world.
Dude, that's awesome.
How long was it? You said it was a short?
Yeah, it was for the 48-hour film festival, so I think it was 6 minutes total. But the funny thing is that we started with the concept of it being horror. And so they're telling me they're going down to the basement, opening these closets, and things are popping up at them. And so that's the score that I initially wrote.
Gotcha.
And it turned out to be like this buddy film instead. And they did go down into the basement at a certain point, but it's all like brightly lit and everything. And so we used the soundtrack that I composed for the horror. It was like, da-da. And I started walking down to the basement. It was like the best moment ever. I got to use those cues a couple of times for these really ironic moments. It just turned out so well.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We did that one time, one of those like hour, what, 70?
Oh, we
our
did the 72
hour
film festival here. Yeah, we
yeah.
just that was
Sounds too
like,
long.
I know that was
40 hours is long enough.
Oh, gosh. I felt like, did we feel kind of rushed? about
Yeah,
it?
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of, well, because to edit it and everything else. Just,
Yeah, did they do it the same way where you don't know what you had to put in
Mm-hmm.
it? Yeah, and then they just slam you with it right like at that midnight hour, and then you just got to start going from there. Okay, that's
Yeah,
fun.
well, 6:30, but
All right, yeah, you got to have these 3 things in your movie or whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we did.
That's what we did.
We did one of those,
Yeah,
too.
that was fun.
It was
I love that fucking
interesting.
movie.
It
No,
was
that movie's
really
great.
It was interesting.
Yeah, you guys got to. I've got to put that up somewhere so people
Just
can
go
see
home
it.
and
I forgot
crash
about that one.
afterwards.
I
Actually, you
love
did.
it.
Put
Yeah,
that out
because
last
we
year.
stayed up
I
the
think I
entire
did.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it
Add
out.
it to the YouTube channel.
I
That'd be
wish
fun.
that,
Yeah.
but you couldn't use the ending, and that just like ruined it for me.
I know, because it was too long. Because I always go too long.
You always make,
Yeah,
I do
because
is
everything he does is too long.
Yeah, because it's good.
No, it's not because it's good. It's because you talk too much and you can't stop.
So speaking of your films, tell me more about what you have been doing.
Oh.
Sam filled me in earlier on some of the details about how you got started and everything.
Well, that's
But
nice. You're interested in knowing about us.
oh yeah, of course I am.
She's here.
I'm here, aren't I?
I'm pretty sure
She drove
she'd
all
like
the
to
way
know.
out here to the boonies.
to be with
to get to
asshole
know
Aaron
us.
and creepy Chuck.
Just magical woodland forest.
I know more.
Great. We're gonna have new captions under our names now.
Like I was telling you, Chuck, remember, and Sam on the way here, if he lived closer, we would be here faster. So.
Yeah, he said that
Yeah. So
4
if you
times
guys
already.
move closer,
I don't know why.
If you move closer.
You pretty in geometry.
It's so funny. He had to say it like 4 times.
Yeah.
He'll
Good.
say it again too.
I probably will. Yeah, I'm good that way.
Okay, so tell me about your films.
Yeah, okay. Well, we started a production company in 2018. Is that right, Chuck?
correct.
But we've been making films since...
She said I already told her this part.
It's
all
okay, you can
this.
tell me again.
I don't fucking know what... Well, tell me what you don't know.
Yeah. Tell us what you don't know. and-
She did.
What doesn't
she
she
said
know?
she doesn't know the current stuff.
Oh.
See, I gave her the background of
Okay.
us and our company.
Okay, so she's seen... You've seen The Outrider then? You already know that?
I have not seen it. Where would I watch it?
You can watch it on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
That's on Prime right now. So that's a fun one. And we've got a project that we stalled that was in pre-production called
Yeah.
Say Goodbye, and that was written by Mr. Lawson over there. It's the first screenplay he wrote.
Oh,
And it's a
congratulations.
faith-based film that he put a lot of his heart into, and it's really, really cool. We got it all casted and ready to go, and then COVID hit. Mm-hmm. So we decided as a team just to hold off and see what happens, and we've been waiting here ever since. In that meantime, though, I wrote another screenplay as well and started a third one already.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got a ton of ideas and projects in the works. It's just a matter of when. So that's kind of where we're at. The company, though, that Chuck has a lot of his hands in,
Hey, dog.
he's got plans. So, Chuck, why don't you tell Grace about some of the plans you have in mind?
How deep do you want to go into the plan? Since I just sent out a few little previews of what the big picture plans are.
Well, how much do you want to tell the audience?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, the audience needs to know. We're talking to creative people.
That's
so
true.
creative people need to start somewhere. Like she's trying to show people that she can play music without ever picking up a fucking instrument. And she's
Well, you
learning
have to pick
in
it up
front of
before you learn
everybody.
it.
Well, you know what I'm saying. She sees it,
Yeah,
she picks it up, and she
Aaron,
starts fucking
geez.
playing. Shut up. And then they go ahead and do this thing. I mean, that's what we got to do. So why don't you tell them how the same thing about, like, your plans for business?
Well, the same thing for a big picture business plan. Obviously, is going to be to keep doing what we're doing. With COVID hitting, we started a podcast to be able to stay creative and to keep our name out here.
Yeah.
To keep things going, because that's the whole thing. Is Aaron's able to do a lot of our marketing stuff for us. So this is something else that we can push. I mean, we can keep pushing the Outriders many times as we want, but we're not going to increase much viewership.
Right.
We have gotten with another distributor who's now getting us onto other platforms, but those can take up to 3 months before they hit. So we have to wait for that. And then, the bigger picture of ideas of things is to build a small upscale studio here. And then the big scale picture of things is to build a warehouse style studio that we could make our own stuff in, that we could rent out to other filmmakers and all that kind of stuff. So that's the big picture.
Okay.
That's where we're working
future
towards.
plans.
Yeah.
Like Aaron has worked on two. He's done 1.5, 1 3/4. I don't know where we're at with the other one. Scripts. While we've also been in downtime, Aaron and I have had a conversation every day for the last 2 weeks and basically created another script that I'm working on. We're just writing our butts off and continuing to move forward.
Yay.
And make
Yay.
plans
It's
and
fun.
meet people and grow, because the whole thing behind what we do is to bring people together and learn together. So, whether it be composers or actors or DPs or, whoever,
Right.
just to try and get people together so that not only are we helping to create this community that you see, everybody has all their own little communities, Tacoma Filmmakers, Seattle Horror, all these different things. We want to continue to also, under a production company standpoint, bring people together too. So that way it's a pool of people that you can work with all the time without knowing that they're going to be honest. I'm going to be the filter for the company. They're not honest. Get them out of here.
Right.
Well,
We're all about
Aaron, you're lucky.
collaborating with other artists.
Aaron is very honest. He's just an asshole.
I am not an asshole.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought Sam.
Man.
That's what Sam
Guys,
said.
Guys,
Everybody gets so scared of me.
Hey, if I have to stay creepy, then you have to stay the asshole.
Well, I'll stay the asshole. I don't give a shit. I'll be
They're
the
both
asshole.
of those things. I'm just saying.
Well, what's fun though is like, well, never mind. I won't get into that.
So anyway,
Yeah. I will
So what I'm saying is, George Lucas had it right. Just get some property, build your own place, take care of your own crap, and build it from there.
yeah.
Our goal is not to become Hollywood famous. It's just to do what we love to do and be able to do that.
So I was wondering, because The Outrider it's a large film, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
That's
full
our
feature.
noir.
Yeah.
How many minutes long is it?
2 hours and 18 minutes.
That's a
15
huge
minutes.
undertaking for a first project.
No.
But it wasn't our first.
No, we did one.
Like I said,
before.
we've been making
You did
films.
one before.
Well, no, we've been making films
Did a
since
couple.
2001, 2002.
Oh, okay. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, so I've learned as I've gone and picked up things here or there and just started to get to a point, it was about 2017 when we got a film finished where we're like, let's see if people would actually watch what we made, like put it really out there, not just family and friends, but really invite people to like do a theater showing. And we did that, and people were like shocked about what we did. And it was really a long, drawn out,
It was a long.
not even a really good process of even how we shot the film or did. We just wanted to finish it.
Well, it took us 5 years. We started in
No,
2012.
Yeah.
7. Like,
Yeah, it was
5 years?
5 or 7. I think I did a 5. Well, because we all look so older.
Yeah, we
From
started
the original
it.
footage we wanted to keep, we had to do a time jump in the film, right?
Oh, God.
So to do
That's
that.
how long. Yeah, we had a huge gap.
Yeah, so I had to do some rewriting and whatnot. But either way, the point is that we put it out there and we got a great response from people around us. And it wasn't just people we knew. People were genuinely interested to it.
And Kelvin, right?
And Kelvin saw
Yeah.
the trailer for that, and I was just a random posting. So he jumped on board and helped us with the Outrider afterwards. But that kind of inspired us to go, okay, well, all these years of us dinking around and making these small films and short films and a couple features we did just for have fun with, we realized maybe we can't do this.
So, an interesting opinion, and I guess I lost the word, so I'll just stick with opinion, that I've gathered recently from Seattle-based filmmakers is that features are very difficult to do in Seattle.
Probably.
That's why we're
As
based
far
out
as
of here.
well, as far as like locations and things like that.
Just
Yeah, as
getting-
opposed to LA or
Just-
New York.
Okay.
Oh, really? Like more difficult?
Yeah, that's what some of the people that I've
No
talked to have
kidding.
said. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then they're the ones that are just like, yeah, screw that. And they just go
Yeah.
ahead and make the feature anyway.
Well, it's
Right.
hard to find places, but then again, not. I mean, we had some really good luck with Outrider with location, but we also had to improvise a lot too, because we didn't get places we wanted. So
Right.
we did
and
both.
LA is so based with everything that, as far as being considered, a filmmaking industry
Yeah.
town, that damn dog.
Fucking dog. Here we go. God
So
damn it.
excited.
Somebody's home.
Oh,
Just gonna jump out the window.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Around the Reel. I'm your host, Aaron.
This is the damn
Today,
dog.
our guest, Grace, is being interrupted by the dog. Damn dog again. So-
But no, I mean, and from our experience when we were doing the Outrider, because we have the creatives and we have the nerds. I'm one of the nerds. So that was one of the things, is because in LA everything's so geared towards the film industry. It's a lot different in like filming in Tacoma and Seattle. I called to have a conversation about the idea of pulling a permit, and they tried to pull all the information from my company and everything else just to make sure that if I were to do something without a permit, they could find me. So that's just it. I mean, we live in a very liberal state, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that there's a lot of checks and balances that they go through, and making sure that. So yeah, it is a pain in the ass to try and get a permit. It's it's hard to try and get these things. If we ever get to the point to where Aaron gets to try and wants to blow up cars and do stuff like he wants to do for some of his action films,
Yeah, good luck.
it is going to be a little more difficult.
What the fuck is going on with the dogs, bro?
They're freaking out, and there's no one even here. There's nobody here. There's no one.
There's me.
Well, I mean, nobody new has come to the residence for them to be barking.
Well-
They're just randomly barking.
I just want attention.
So yeah, when we were shooting,
We keep it real here. What can I say?
when we were shooting our film, yeah, I know,
No pun intended.
All puns intended.
Oh, I'm gonna jump out the window.
I know. I check if you want to get the dogs, you can. It's fine.
Are you
Yeah,
encouraging me? You're encouraging me.
If
to
you
Go
get it,
take care of your dogs.
Yeah, we'll,
Go.
It's fine. It's fine.
I
We
thought he
got
never
you.
left.
Well, he normally doesn't, but
Thank you, Chuck.
yeah, he needs to go.
Anyway.
Oh my God! What?
Not better?
I guess if they stop.
I'm pretty sure I just caused some clipping in your audio files. Sorry.
You're
You're
fine.
fine. You're totally fine. So when we filmed The Outrider, though, we did that run and gun. I mean, we really did. A lot of the shots we had permission to film in these places, but there's a few places we filmed where we did not. So we just went and did it anyway, and we kept our crew small. But to me, there's always a way.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to take pictures.
Oh yeah, you take pictures.
Oh, go for it.
Fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, totally fine.
Revenge.
There's a couple of movies that you're working on. And
Yes.
there's one that you specifically worked on up here that I wanted to talk to you about because I have not been able to see it yet, and I wanted to talk to you about that when I could.
Yeah. Which one?
Oh, I was going to smile.
like-
You did Big Trouble in Little China, or Big Trouble in Little China. I always say
No.
that. Big Trouble
Yeah,
in Seattle.
In Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you score that, and when did that movie get finished up? I can't remember.
So this is an interesting story.
Okay, good.
So I've actually worked... Do you know David Fowler?
I know him from online, but I've never met him.
Okay. He's awesome. Like, one of the most optimistic, positive, go out and do it directors I've ever met. And he's still, like, really young.
Okay.
So I foresee a wonderful career ahead of him, which
Cool.
is why I'm like, hey, David, can I work with you again?
I know he's got another one. I just saw the trailer for yesterday. too.
Paranormal
Investigators.
Investigators.
Yeah. Okay.
So I actually first worked with him on Lean on Me, which is a film that he did in, I want to say 2017. I
Okay.
don't remember.
Okay, that's okay.
So that was actually the third film that I ever did.
Okay.
And since then, we've stayed in touch, and he asked me to come back for Big Trouble in Seattle, which I was super excited for because it's a remake of a film that he was very dedicated to. He did an original film a long time ago,
Okay.
and he decided to remake it because it got really good positive reviews, and he wanted to, like, upgrade.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so as far as when I started working on it, I actually started working on it, I think, in January
Okay.
of this year. And it turned out to be a more prolonged project than any of us thought it could be because of COVID, like, taking over and
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
So it's funny because in February when I was, like, working on the score and COVID started up, I was just like, oh, okay, that's fine, because this is great. I'm going to be isolated anyway.
Okay.
This is a good opportunity for me to just, like, shut out the world and concentrate on this project. And by the time I come back up for air in a couple of months, it'll be over with. And then I come up for air, I'm like, oh, shoot.
It's just
Everybody's
gotten
still
worse. It's
Oh,
worse.
no. And so that was actually the last big project that I worked on in terms of films, because I didn't want to line up anything after it because it's a great big project.
Right.
Oh wow! I mean, I'm very, very, very proud of that score.
Good.
But I didn't want to give myself something to do immediately afterwards in case, like, things went over as they did, and I knew I needed a break afterwards, and so I didn't have any projects lined up after that. And guess what? Everything is in lockdown, and nobody is doing any production. I was like, oh no! So,
Right.
yeah. So hence the Resourceful Practice Project. Just
Okay.
like, let's get busy. Let's
Yeah,
keep going.
just keep-
yeah.
And do something. Okay.
Yeah.
When is that? Well, I know with COVID and everything, it's kind of weird. But the film is finished. It's
Yes.
completed. Okay, so
As far as I know.
okay, all right. When do they have any estimated time when it's going to be released? Has it been put out anywhere yet, or anything?
I don't know, especially since David is currently working on Paranormal Investigators, and so it's like he's got a lot of attention focused on that. So I'm not.
Okay.
I couldn't give you any details.
I just want to hear your score.
Yeah.
That's why I asked. Because I've seen the trailer for it, and I'm interested in that, and I want to meet him too. I want to get him on here one of these days.
David? Yeah.
He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah,
He
for
does.
sure.
I mean, I literally said maybe one or two things to him before, but I follow him a little bit. That's cool.
You come out of a conversation with him thinking that you could take on the world and just, like, be creative as all out.
That's how I feel
Oh,
about stuff, too.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Very
That's good.
inspiring.
That's
We'd
good.
love
He's
to have
great.
him on here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we need more of on this planet.
Yes,
exactly.
that is
Yes.
true.
People who encourage one another instead of tearing each other down. You said something interesting though. Do you have to do that a lot after you finish doing a big project? Do you feel you have to have that downtime afterwards?
Depends on the project. Quite often, and really, this is the first time in, I don't know, since I started composing. I guess No, I guess it's the first time in a year and a half that I've actually had a break, because usually I have, I hate to say this, but usually I have at least 2 projects going on at any time.
It's good to be busy.
Yeah, it is.
And popular, apparently.
I don't know about that, but so I don't know. First of all, I needed a break because I had not had a break in literally years. And of course, the grad program that I did was no piece of cake either.
Right.
That was insane. That was a year of just like nonstop writing. So I just needed a break. And ordinarily, I don't like taking breaks. Ordinarily, I will just go from one project straight to the next one and be very happy with that.
Well, I just asked because, since you're a creative but involving music and putting so much into a project, I was just wondering if it's good to take a minute to come back to reset your brain and everything. And I mean,
I think so, yeah.
Like I wrote a faith-based screenplay that we're getting ready to hopefully start someday soon. Ooh. My next script is not.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
It's dark. It's
fun. It's
deep.
Fun.
It's creepy.
It's fun.
It's not necessarily creepy. It's just not.
It's creepy.
It's
good
not
action
faith-based.
movie.
That's why we have to do the faith.
Horror.
We're doing the faith-based movie first, so that way
So that
nobody will come back and go like, they can't make a faith-based movie. We've seen their other stuff.
Right.
So everybody thinks that he's nice and holy.
No. It's not that everybody. I am a nice.
You are nice and holy,
polite
right?
and person. It's just I'm still a real person.
Yeah, he is. He is. He just happens to be Christian. Just like me, I'm really a nice person. I just happen to be black.
He happens to be black.
Aaron's a really nice person. He just happens to be an asshole. He's nice to other people, though.
Oh, my God. So, what was I going to ask you, Grace? There was something else.
I have no idea.
I know, I don't.
You can ask her anything. What's your favorite color? And
Turquoise.
Why?
Oh,
Teal.
Yes.
Anything that's blue and green at the same time.
Yes.
Why is that?
'Cause it's beautiful.
Because it reminds me of water, and I love water, and I love nature and everything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Okay.
That's a great answer.
So, do you like working with like directors? I mean, what's your experience with them so far? Is it hard? Is it easy? Is there a commonality you're finding when you're working with other filmmakers?
I would say that my experience has been like 90% super positive and 10% I would think twice before working with this person again.
Okay, all right.
But for the most part, it's really fun to come into a project and with a new director and find out what the new challenges are, because everybody approaches the collaborative process differently, especially when it comes to music. Some directors have a very, very definite idea of what they want to do with the music, and some of them don't. And some of them have an idea and then change halfway through.
Right.
Those are the ones that make me think twice.
Right.
But generally speaking, I like to work with both types because they just offer such unique experiences.
Okay.
So I just cracked my So this is one of the projects I'm allowed to upcoming projects I'm allowed to talk about because I've already been announced publicly. But I don't know if you know Connor von Kutzing. He's up in Friday Harbor.
Okay.
He is doing a Western film, kind of like a neo-Western film.
Okay, go ahead. Keep talking.
You've seen this one?
I've heard something, yeah. Okay.
Once Upon a Time in the Wasteland.
Yes.
And I actually did his like trailer, 7-minute trailer into this called Wasteland Overture. And he knew exactly what he wanted. He wanted Ennio Morricone.
Okay,
And it's just
yeah.
like, yes!
Yes.
Because I worshipped, past tense,
Yes.
Ennio Morricone.
Yes. It's you spaghetti western lover because of them?
I mean, those films are just amazing.
They are badass.
Like, from start to finish.
Yeah, they're badass.
Everything. But also, he passed away about a month ago.
I know. Super sad.
And so, like, the director and I were emailing each other back and forth, like, I'm so sorry, I know. Anyway, so he
But that's
knew.
the vision that he had for the music and that, so, oh, man, that'd be
Yeah, and so it was an opportunity for me to, like, dive
Right.
into this style and learn more about it, and it was one of the most exciting things I've ever done. But he had like a very, very specific vision. I want electric guitar here. I want it rising here. I want big cinematic moment here. I'm like, yes, I am taking out the orchestral bells. We are doing this. Choirs, whistles, bells, trumpets. And I just got to pour everything into it. That was so fun.
Is that a feature that he's doing?
No, I think it's about 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Still cool, though.
He made a 40-minute short and a 7-minute trailer.
Oh, it's beautiful, though. That music is awesome.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but I thought
yeah,
I
you're
saw
more funny.
something somewhere. Did you have some work on your YouTube page with some Western style?
Yeah, that would be it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I did hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did freaking hear it. It's
Yeah.
badass. It is fucking
It was
badass.
so much fun to put
I
together.
did like that a lot. Okay, I got you. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. Okay, what's that called again? The film?
Once Upon a Time in the Wasteland.
Okay.
I
I'll
think
get
it's
it
in
down.
production now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No joke. You guys got to listen to that. That's actually pretty good. You did a good job.
Did you
That does
did
sound
you-
like it.
Did you just write down "no joke"?
No, I was writing down the title of the
wondering.
fucking movie.
You say it all the time, so I,
I
was
know.
like, why?
Do you know
why'd
how many
write
times
down-
he actually writes that? Like, I find pieces of paper everywhere that say "no joke."
Or
What are
it
you
usually
talking
says
about?
"I'm no joke." on
It
there.
does. It usually
Yeah.
says "I'm no joke," but he's
Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah.
what that means is like you have to believe in yourself. So you have to tell yourself consistently. It's a positive affirmation. When I say "I'm no joke," that means I'm not taking shit from no one today. That I'm doing
except
what
for
I gotta
Sam.
do.
It means I'm really full
I'm
of
not a big
myself and I have
shit.
a really big ego, but whatever.
I mean, it's just perspective, though. I mean, you can look at
Ego.
it either way. It could be ego. It could be,
He's obsessed
positive
with his own self.
affirmations. That's how I look at it. Very positive.
You
You have to be a strong-willed person to get anything done in this planet.
just because he says it all the time doesn't mean he's not telling the truth here. I mean, if you look at everybody else who says, I am enough. I mean, that's one that Amber I think actually has tattooed. No,
Yeah.
you are enough. Amber and Regan wrote it on each other, and then the tattoo artist in their own handwriting.
Yeah.
So Amber has Regan's, Regan has Amber's. I am enough. Those types of things. If you put it on the mirror. Everybody says it's a proof positive thing. So
Positive
I'm all about-
affirmation. That's
I'm
what I'm
all
saying.
about
So
that.
just the
I'm
fact
all
that he
about
writes it
believing in
down
yourself.
everywhere he goes and leaves it sitting.
But I
Okay,
don't.
there's
I
a
say
point,
it all the time.
There's
It's
a
a
point where it
difference.
goes
you
into.
do.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's
If you
interesting.
could see his face when he did that, you would be like, it's so cringy.
Oh, it's fun.
It's cringy.
So speaking of that kind of affirmation, when I was working on Big Trouble in Seattle, and David wants big, of course, and I can be a little bit tentative when it goes to big because I'm afraid of going too big.
Sure.
Because you get a lot of directors who are like, can you tone it down a bit? David's the opposite.
And that's, yeah. I want big. I want
So
big, too.
I was trying to give myself these mental affirmations, and so I wrote down on a card, "Go for it," on this 2.5 by 5 card or whatever those dimensions are, and I stuck it on my MIDI controller keyboard, so I would see it every time I sat down to compose.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's just go for it.
See, I'm
Don't
the
hold
type.
back.
I'm the type that thinks just like, you have your craft, right? You're good at what you do because that's what you love.
Because I work hard at it.
Right. So if I made a film, like when working with Kelvin, and he said what was refreshing was that I told him, just do your thing, man. Like I had it in my head what I wanted to hear, but it was all temp music. It's Hans Zimmer stuff I'm hearing and all this stuff. But I knew I had to let that go, because that's not, I'm interested in what he comes up with. And then all of a sudden I heard what he was working on, and I'm like, holy shit, that's so different than what I thought.
Yeah.
And it just became what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, something that I hear
Yes.
all the time is,
Yes.
wow, this your music really changed this film.
Yes. ...
in a good way.
Yes, but it is in a good way, and that's the thing, because I think as a filmmaker, you may think you hear it the way you want to, but when you get an actual composer doing their work, when they put themselves into it, it changes
magic.
the whole. It is magic.
It's magic.
changes
It
the whole fucking
brings
thing.
the whole film to life.
Well, it gives
Yeah.
it more personality.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. I feel that way when we're writing, too, when we're letting people come in and bring their notes and tell us other ideas that they have, whether, I don't care if they're the light person or they're fucking the DP or if it's one of the actors. I don't give a shit. If you got an idea, throw it out there, because when I write something, and I know Chuck's the same way, and Sam would be, too, if she writes that script. It's a foundation
No
to
pressure.
me. Let's collaborate on it and make it better.
Yeah.
Make it better, because the more minds you put together is great. So
Yeah.
if we were working with you on a film, I'd be like, girl, do your thing. Just do
Yeah.
it. Go. Well, what do you hear, Aaron? Well, I like this kind of thing, but don't put you in that direction, I guess. But do your shit. That's how I.
As
would
long
be.
as you don't change your mind partway through.
Right.
No,
No,
Throw me
no,
under
no.
the bus.
Do you like having that freedom
Yeah, that's
when
the
you
next question.
compose?
Like I said, it depends on whether or not I'm going to be asked to change it partway through. Because once
Right.
you get a mental image of how you hear this particular scene,
It's probably hard to get out of that.
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
asked to change it altogether is really hard.
Yeah.
So-
can
I
I
only
can't believe
imagine.
someone would do that.
I know. I can't believe that either.
Well,
Well, not everybody knows what they want. when they first are working on their film, they might think they know what they want, but then they actually hear it and they're like, oh no, that actually changes the image a lot from what I was expecting. And it's not that I disrespect that mentality and that need. It's just really hard to work with.
Well, yeah. But at the same time, they're not expecting what you're going to put out there anyway. They have no idea what you're going to make, right? If they come in and they're sitting down with you and they're like, well, I kind of see this, but I don't know what I hear yet. And then you make some, they go, oh, it's not that though. It's like, that's not right to
That's
do.
not the notes I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
not the
know.
notes.
I mean,
that's weird.
That's weird
to me.
Like I said, I respect that because sometimes people... Is that an apple tree out there?
Yes.
Ooh, I like it.
Pear. Sorry.
Because, like some people, that is their creative process. It's like, even I'll write something and I'll be like, oh, that's not right. And then I go back and rewrite it, You just... And sometimes you have to have somebody else do that for you.
Okay, fair enough.
But that's probably suited to a different composer than me.
Sure.
Okay. I have to admit that I had no idea until I met Kelvin that you didn't have the freedom as a composer to go ahead and...
Yeah, no.
I thought you were just given the movie and you had the freedom to score it as you saw fit to what you saw. That surprised me that it wasn't like that because I kind of felt like that's what the whole point was. Like, you're a composer, that's what you do. So I would just expect that, here's the footage, put music to it. That's what I thought composing was. I didn't know.
Have you gotten those notes
right.
yet as far as like it needs to have these underlining tones in the song so that way to be industry standard?
That's when they mind fuck you because that's when it works. I know.
Oh, I haven't never gotten industry standard. That's definitely a term that I have not heard, but yeah, oftentimes it'll be like, for example, with Big Trouble in Seattle, David knew that he wanted Terminator, but he also wanted John Williams. So it was like, okay, how do we like make that work? Yeah.
Oh, God, he always goes back to that.
Well, actually, it turned out to be a really interesting experiment for me because I ended up blending orchestral elements like you would hear with John Williams and that feeling of like grandeur with those 80s synthesizer sounds. And it took me, this is part of the reason why it took me so long to finish that score. Is because it took me that long to build that foundation and figure out what worked. And then as soon as it worked, it clicked. And then it worked throughout the rest of the film. But David had a very, very specific vision of how he wanted this to sound. Okay. Which turned out to be really cool.
I can't wait to see that movie. I really want to see that.
I know, I want to see it.
So it's probably a challenge. When someone offers you an idea that they have about the music that they want you to compose, do you take it as a challenge?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's good. It's a good thing. It's
only
not
improve that way.
Right. Okay. So it's not insulting at all.
No.
Like, oh, you don't like what I do?
No,
you just want me to do something different? I was just
but
curious.
Not everybody's as sensitive as you are, Sam, about stuff.
I know I'm super sensitive.
She's super sensitive.
I would cry. I just would.
No.
Like, you don't like me. No.
Once you've been composing long enough, you just lose your soul, and then you just accept all of the criticism.
Oh, my God.
Just like, oh, that's a really interesting idea. There's no part of your soul that's dying because it's already dead.
That's so funny.
And yet she's so joyful.
I know.
Well, because you have to be. Because she's doing what she loves.
Because I'm learning the clarinet.
See, that's even more impressive because she's doing it without a soul.
So, is your next project Runaway?
No, but I am doing that later.
You are doing that later.
Yeah.
All right.
That comes after a couple of other projects.
Okay, so you're going to be scoring Runaway. Okay.
Yeah, that was going to be fun.
We have Ralph's on here Wednesday.
Oh, was this so?
Yeah. Yes. So we're excited to have him on here too because I've been following his film quite a bit, not just because of it looks good, it looks interesting, the storyline that he's created, but he filmed during this pandemic.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So I've got like 1,000 questions for him.
Yeah, we want to know how he finished his project.
Yeah, that's impressive what he was able to accomplish.
He gave it a lot of thought.
That's good.
Yeah, because I got the emails.
I bet.
Where it's like, well, we're in this pickle right now. Let's figure out how to get past this. It's been fun to see like his documentary photographic stuff that he's been he's been posting on Facebook because it's so seldom that I get to be part of that process.
Right.
I'm usually just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, waiting for them to throw things at me
to send you some stuff.
But
so it's been in on the whole process. the whole time, or?
Well, kind of. I haven't been, like, filming with them. I haven't been talking to the DPs and the editors and everyone like that. But I have been able to, like, kind of vicariously participate because I'm able to see what they're doing, and that's really cool.
That helps, right?
Yeah.
No, I hear you. That's cool, man.
So are you going to be, if you're comfortable answering this question, are they giving you anything up front, or are you waiting till the picture is completed, edited, and then they're going to give it to you?
Oh, you mean as far as the film goes?
As far as your scoring to what they've created.
I think I'm just going to be receiving that film and then scoring it from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm talking about somebody else's project, I want to give somebody a disclaimer to not answer if they don't want to.
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
totally fine.
No, I get it. I just thought something creepy was coming.
No, I do have intelligent questions too.
It's pretty seldom, except for like the 48 and those kind of projects, it's pretty seldom that I don't receive something workable. I really like to have a locked picture, but that's not always doable.
Right.
Oftentimes there's going to be changes, and I really, really like having time code.
Everybody does so far,
Yeah.
as what I'm hearing.
That's one of those things that we learned.
I know.
Yeah.
Do it.
Did Kelvin?
You're gonna
Oh,
put
dude,
time.
when we were delivering shit to him, it was hilarious because, like I said on the podcast, most of the time he'd say something to us, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I got that. Give me my fucking phone. What's that mean? What is he talking about? And I'd Google it just to make sure I knew what the fuck he was saying because I had no idea. You know, I never worked with a composer before, so he's asking me this file type this way, put it through this, put a time code on it, and he'd put these little... he'd do all kinds of shit. He would
It's just
say
total
totally
composer
different
lingo.
language, totally different language than
Yeah.
I'm used to, and I'm like,
I don't speak composer,
but I figured it out.
but I'm going to Google it so I can act like I do.
You know why I figured it out? Because I'm no joke.
Because you Googled it.
Because I'm fucking no joke. That's why.
Wrap
Figure that shit
around.
out.
I forgot your
Figured it
no joke.
And then I just realized that he's Puerto Rican. He's just some dude. And he's not like this big Hollywood guy, even though he did like big blockbuster movies and shit. I was just like, he's just some guy.
He's
He
just
just
like-
takes his shit like everybody else. It's no big deal.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you got to look at it. And then you come down. And then you start teasing them like anybody else.
Well, you have to worry about the ones who actually do put themselves up on a pedestal. Like, oh, I'm in Hollywood.
Yeah, and nobody likes it. I'm
Yeah,
so far.
Mr.
Oh,
Hollywood
my
right there,
God,
who's
give me
not
a
even in
break.
Hollywood, but he's Mr. Hollywood.
I was just reading
He's
that
no
as
joke.
charisma.
Oh, well, you know, he loves that about you.
Aw,
I love that for you,
see,
Aaron.
She's so sweet.
She is sweet. Way
you.
I'm
sweeter
just
than
being
me.
practical. Just being honest.
If you really knew him, you would not be that sweet. You would not. It
Sam.
would not happen.
We do have other projects coming up. We are creating an outreach here, so don't scare her away from
She's
what we're
trying.
doing
What,
here.
I'm not scaring her away. If anybody is,
No one's going to
asshole
want to work with
Aaron.
our company because of me now on the podcast, thanks to Sam.
So
They were like,
actually,
oh, Aaron's got a new movie coming out. Fuck that.
Would you like to
motherfucker.
explain to everybody why I'm your truth filter, Aaron? Do you want to tell them
'Cause you're
why I'm so
probably
mean?
right. But I mean, I'm an asshole in a fun way, though. I'm a fun asshole. You don't throw the fun in there.
Okay, but everybody, he earned this, like from a long time back. So he's
Dude,
got this
just
coming
like,
forever.
Just like the kid did last night in Cobra Kai when he earned the dojo
Oh
from Johnny.
my,
He earned it. He
here we
earned it.
go.
Have you watched Cobra Kai yet?
ah,
You can just say no.
It's fine. It's fine. It just
He
came on
also-
Netflix
It's stronger
last
than
night.
no.
It's so good.
he also makes me
Man.
listen to his politics talk, which I cannot stand. So,
Okay, so,
I have the right to
2 seconds here. 2
say
seconds to take the floor.
whatever I
2
want.
seconds to take the floor.
No.
So anytime I'm going to tell
No.
I'm telling everybody out there that follows my Facebook page right now, so they all know it. I want everybody to make this very clear.
Aaron's no joke.
No, everything that I put out there is a human experiment. I am looking for certain things and how people react to give me a basis to be able to talk about on this show.
are you a psychopath?
No.
He sounds like one, doesn't
I
he?
could be. But
We're
people,
sociopaths.
Yeah, some people, a certain group of people are taking me serious like I'm getting into politics. I'm learning about the dynamic between people who are so deep into it. And I have to know a little bit about it to be able to tap in there to push certain buttons, to stir the pot here, to make something happen here, to see what people say. Because I'm eyeballing them, because it's interesting to me. Because the human beings right now, how can you not be interested in what they're doing?
Well, I'm not interested, but I get to hear about it all the time.
It's very uncommon. But you know what's funny? When I start getting into a
That's
screenplay
funny.
or a
I bet you're going
movie,
to tell us.
she says the same thing. She's like, all you ever talk about is your movies.
I mean, that's all you're thinking about, right?
Right. Like if you're into your project,
Right.
though,
Yeah.
that's what your brain goes.
Yeah. I
Like
drive
me.
everybody around me nuts.
Yeah, exactly. And I do the same to her. And that's why I love her so much, because she still loves me. So that's why I take her talking crap to me, because she has to.
Even though, yeah,
That's how she
he
gets
only
it
thinks
out.
about his movies.
our movies.
Okay.
Our company.
Anyways,
right, Chuck?
That's right.
Yeah. So
Sam, you're not really helping this little join together type thing. yours.
I know. Am
yours.
I?
No, it's ours.
Do I pick us all apart? I'm sorry. I really do love these guys.
I know she does. It's funny.
I really do.
Anyway, that's my 2 minutes on Facebook. So yeah, anybody who follows me on Facebook, if you see a political post, have fun with it because that's what it's for.
And
Get it,
remember,
go ahead.
Aaron is no joke.
Yeah.
So you said something a moment ago that reminded me of something that you said like 45 minutes ago, which was about like using this COVID opportunity to build connections and whatnot. And I was thinking to myself how that's like, it's actually a really good opportunity for us in the creative community to, we've been forced to step away from our projects to a certain degree. And now we're like, it's like a flow. It's like, moving. I had like ideas. Have to. It's like we should do that. Honestly,
Yeah.
Like from time to time, we should step away from our projects and take some time to connect and work on new ideas and write tons of scripts and stuff like that. So this is actually a really good opportunity, not necessarily financially,
Right.
but
Right.
financially it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But
But if we all take advantage of the time in the right way.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you say that. I'd like to talk to you after the show about something.
That's a creepy joke.
No, that's not that creepy side. It's actually
That was
thinking of
the
something in the future. Well, I can't help the look. You're sitting off to my side. I have to look at you sideways.
Side eye is like something I want to talk to you about after this.
Aaron, let me paint
Yep,
let me
that's
paint a
what we
picture of the
deal
room.
with.
Aaron actually has his hands covering his face, sitting in the corner laughing.
Because I saw how you looked at her too. I totally know he was like, "Talk to you after the show." I was like, what the fuck was that?
It was
look?
pretty bad. But see, yeah,
Oh, my
that's
abs.
now you know why we call him Creepy Chuck.
And yet everybody's still laughing, so
Because it's funny.
It's
It's
funny.
really funny. Unless you're the poor girl sitting next to you, and then it's
I
probably
don't
not
care.
as funny.
As
Oh,
I
she doesn't care.
I took Taekwondo.
I can kick your ass.
I can handle myself.
Booyah.
Anyway,
I was gonna say, that is why we always put the guests near the door. So if anything ever comes up, they're more than happy to just just leave.
well, but the problem is that the door opens on my chair, so I'd have to move my chair, then open the door.
Yep.
Then
It would
go
be
through.
complicated. You
Yeah.
could make it a little easier.
I'm guessing that if you were in a mood to want to leave the show, that it wouldn't just be like you're trying to sneak out. It'd be like, screw you.
There's a window.
Slam the door. Slam the chair into the table, even though there's a bar in the way. She'll slam it. She'll
Oh no,
open the
because that
door.
would mess with the microphones.
And the door sticks a little, so she'd get pissed off at that, and she'd
I
slam
actually
the door
wonder
open.
if we'll do that to one of our guests ever.
Piss him off?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I know I won't.
I don't think
but-
it'll attract that.
I
Sort
could
of.
probably do
Anyone
it.
who listens to your podcast will know what they're getting themselves into.
Well,
Correct.
that is true.
Correct.
Well,
I'm
hopefully.
sorry. Are you actually saying that people should listen to our podcast?
Oh, I mean, I don't know about that, people. You might want to flee for your life. It's pretty scary over here.
Out here in the sticks.
Out here in the gorgeous woodland
Oh my
paradise
God.
with the apple tree outside and
Hey,
dogs
that's
jumping out
okay.
windows.
And the cow manure.
Sam was literally
Wait. That will scare people away. There is no
I know,
cow manure
it scares
smell.
me away.
Sam was literally on our show last week telling us to shut it down because she was bored.
Oh, well,
Dot,
but we have
Yeah,
Grace
she said that on air.
today.
Well, I'm bored, so
She's
let's
like,
just-
I'm bored.
You know,
Let's
well-
time to wrap it up.
Sorry, I'm brutally honest, and I don't have a filter for things, and I don't mean to hurt feelings, but I just do.
That's how I
Let's
feel,
more
but I'm
efficient.
called an asshole.
I'm just honest. Well, you are an asshole.
I don't mean to hurt feelings. I'm just brutally honest. That's all.
You don't care about feelings.
I
but
totally
not
care
as much
about
as I
feelings,
do.
especially mine.
Not as much as I do.
Okay, so to answer your question, yes, people come listen to this podcast. If you are hearing this, then you're already listening to this podcast, so it's kind of superfluous. But
It's a good word.
It's a great word.
I like that one.
Again, our show is we're having fun, but it is to get word out to everybody like you, Grace, and who we're trying to connect with and network with and give everybody a platform to talk about their passion, their love of creativity, and that's me being serious. Okay, and I mean that.
We can
I
tell by the
really,
tone of your
yeah,
voice.
I mean that. So it's awesome when people are listening and
Oh,
especially
yeah.
want to come and be here.
yeah, you
like
always
and
want
driving
people to
down
be
the way you
involved
did.
in your project.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I respect everybody that way. I may not show it and talk about it because I'm goofing off, but I really do, especially when we're making a film or working with anybody, even on the show. I mean, that's easy. That's easy. It's all
I
this other
think we
bullshit
all
stuff.
can agree with that, right,
Yeah.
Chuck?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
That's
Yeah.
the join together motto.
That's the
our
truth
thing.
of it all.
Correct.
We play a lot,
Yes, we do.
but we really just love what we do.
Yeah.
And we want to collaborate with other people that love what they do.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't want to collaborate with somebody who doesn't love what they want to do.
No, not at all.
There's
It's
so
probably
many
bad.
There's so many talented people out there when I'm just noticing, when you really pay attention, I should say, and you're watching them and you're like, damn, and they don't know they have that talent. You know, and earlier you said sometimes it doesn't take talent. And it doesn't really, I think we all have a talent, you know, but it is the work you put in that makes you elevate, right? That's kind of what you're saying. But there's some people, like when the Art on 6, you know, we have that little fair when the Arts Center down there. And I remember, was it last year before? There was a guy sitting on a stool playing a guitar and singing, and he had maybe 10, 12 people around him just watching him. This motherfucker was brilliant. Like, brilliant. He had a little thing out there. People are putting a couple bucks in. This guy was an amazing musician. His voice and the guitar work he did, easy could have had an album. Easy. Could have went platinum. The guy's brilliant. Who is he? Nobody knows.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows.
That's
and it's
the
so
thing about
crazy
this
to me.
industry.
It's
It is
so
rub.
crazy.
There's so much hidden talent.
There's
that,
so many people that can do stuff, and they can't get that opportunity, or
Right.
they don't get that lucky shot, or they don't meet that right person, or not in the
Yeah.
place, the right time. I mean, literally, that has a lot to do with it.
but
It's
they're
not
just as
your
talented.
talent.
If
Yeah,
not
they've
more
got
talented.
what it takes.
Some people more talented than others
Yeah.
that have made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
You
that's
have to
why
put
we're
yourself out there.
exactly.
You have to.
You
I am
do.
a massive introvert, but I will still go out of my way to connect with as many people as possible because
to.
I want to fucking make it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. See,
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, if
We
you
all
want it
wanna-
enough, then
yeah.
you will overcome whatever hurdles you have
Right.
to get
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
it's like you have to roll the dice enough times so that your opportunity pops up.
That's right.
You just have to keep doing
Got to
it.
keep
Well,
playing.
and when you do
Yep.
things that are creative, you really have to be willing to take risks because nothing happens without the risks.
Amen.
Yeah,
That
So,
deserves a high five.
Hey,
that's right.
That's the quietest thing that's ever happened at this table. How did you do?
I know you didn't even
I'm
hear
like scared to touch this thing.
You bump anything and everything resonates through. And that was like
No
a
one heard our
sound
high five. Yeah.
What would you tell? I'm sorry, Sam. Do you have any other questions that you had?
Oh no, go for it.
I
Go ahead.
was just curious. So, if you had someone who wanted to get into music or composing films that's brand new, what would your advice be to them? Is there anything you could tell them that would get them in the right direction?
But that's why
Oh,
she's doing
man.
That's why you're doing your project.
I mean,
right?
personally.
because you want to help.
If they
people
want
that are
to
starting.
get into music as a profession, then my first piece of advice is please consider if there's anything else in life that might make you happy. Do that. Do music on the side because it is a brutal industry.
Gotcha.
And then if you find that you literally can't do anything, like if you're like me and you're just
Yeah.
like, I literally can't do anything else with my life but this, then you have to go for it with everything that you've got. And don't listen to anyone who tells you no. But in a practical sense, the first thing that I would say is, well, first of all, start doing it.
Okay.
You won't learn anything until you start doing it. And go find a mentor or education or whatever you can to accelerate your process, because the faster you can get to a good place, the better people that you can work with. And the better the people that you work with, the more you learn.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
get there as soon as you can, doing whatever means you can, but be careful because education is expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Well worth it, but expensive.
Right. That's great advice.
Yeah, that is great advice.
That's what I wanted to know. And I think
Yes.
people should do that. And I love what you said, too, because it's kind of, I feel that way. And I think Ryan Connolly said that on Film Riot not too long ago. Same kind of thing. Where he's like, if you can't see yourself doing anything else, then you're making films for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Right.
If you can see yourself doing another job,
You're going to be picturing that
yeah,
when you're doing
not
it.
really. This isn't for you.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be the career you want. And I look at my life since I started this, and there's nothing I can think of other than this. What we're trying to make. that
But
I
for
could do.
some people,
I
it's
have
not.
to do the other thing to get by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
For now,
sucks
for now.
But yeah,
But for some people
I
that
could
are
not stop
creative,
making movies.
they just like to be creative, and they have regular jobs that they love.
Correct.
They just like to be creative. There's two different kinds.
There is.
There's of creative people. Some people just like it on the side, and some
That's
people
true, but
really want to live it.
Yeah, and then there's nothing wrong with doing it on the side.
No, and there's
No.
nothing
You have to
wrong
make
with
time for
living
it.
it either.
Right.
You just have to really work hard.
Yeah. It really sucks if you want to do that on the side, but you don't have time for it.
Yeah, that's the.
I can't
Yeah,
imagine
that does
that.
suck.
That's the horrible part, and I think that's why you get some people who are bitter.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when you're seeing them and
'Cause
you
you
run
do.
into them. Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I
They
had just
see it-
had my opportunity 40 years ago.
Yes, yeah, and they got
Exactly.
nothing but negativity to say to you about anything that you're putting out there or trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well,
brutal.
and that's where all the trolls come from that give you bad reviews, and they it's almost like we got a bad review on our movie, like right when we got it up, didn't we?
Oh,
Could
yeah,
you
yeah.
learn from it?
And there was no way.
Yeah, I did.
No, the guy didn't watch it. I mean, it was
was like almost like
clearly
an
he didn't
auto-generate.
see it. It was like, yeah, we almost thought it was a bot doing it because it was so
wow.
fast that he couldn't have possibly
The movie
watched
wasn't even
it.
out yet.
Yeah, it wasn't. So it was
We
like
just
one of
posted it,
those
yeah.
where people just honestly they're so bitter and so angry. I mean, you have to wonder if it was that situation where
Well, it had to
someone was
have been.
just so mad that they just go and clown on other people's stuff because they can't make it or can't do what
Yeah.
they want to do. I don't know what it was, but
I literally hit upload for purchasing DVDs of our movie on Amazon. Upload.
Mm-hmm.
It showed up on the site. I was like, okay, it's up. An hour later, there was a review on it. Mm-hmm. Okay, you got to buy the DVD and it has to be shipped to you.
yeah.
And then
it was one of
the
those.
movie's 2 fucking hours.
yeah.
So unless
there was no way.
there's no fucking way. Yeah, and it was a 1-star review, and I'm like, okay, that's
Just
weird.
a brutal mean,
It's just a bot. It's just weird shit. But I mean, regardless, there's other people out there who aren't bots that just will do what they do.
or trolls.
All right, they just hate. They're just hate. But
Yeah.
that's okay because
That
fuck
is
'em.
okay.
Fortunately, I don't have a soul, so that doesn't affect me.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me either.
See, that's good.
I'm just like,
that's
can I
what's good
learn
about-
from this comment? Is this something you can learn from? No? Then fuck you, go away.
Exactly.
Right.
And
I don't care anymore.
That's true. That's true. And I did learn some stuff from a few of them. You
Well,
know,
there
like
are-
their expectations, like I talked about with the poster and the artwork before. People see that artwork and they watch me like, oh, the movie's in black and white.
Oh, and if you can start a dialogue with somebody who
Right.
has some good
Feedback
information
for it,
for you,
yeah.
then you can actually build a connection
Correct.
because people respect that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference
that's
between
absolutely right.
constructive criticism and someone that's just insulting you, and that's the problem that I guess that I have because I don't do criticism very well. But it's not the criticism that I don't do; it's the mean people that are just mean, and they're saying something with no. I mean, there's no real. They have nothing behind it. It's just mean.
Well,
they just
maybe-
want to hurt you.
Just picture picking them up, putting them in a garbage truck, and then watch the garbage truck in your mind. Drive down to the dump, and then slowly dump them out
This whole entire time I see Aaron.
amid all the old cabbage, and just
Because Chuck
picture them there.
died. You say something because he's got the same idea.
You don't have to watch the garbage truck go to the dump. You just hit the button on the side of the truck and watch it crush.
I was waiting for
And
it.
that's Chuck's mind.
I like the
Disturbing.
cabbage
Those are
better,
the
though.
disturbing
If you
things
have-
that Chuck
if
thinks
If
about.
you have a moment and you really want to make somebody feel like they're in pain, throw me a text. I'll give you an idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Chuck. We
Hashtag
appreciate that.
faith-based.
If you ever want to
Hashtag
think of something
faith-based.
really disturbing, call Chuck.
I'll take that water now. Thank you.
That's yours in front of you.
Oh, okay. This is hers.
So you got your YouTube thing going, and that's what you were talking about earlier before we started the show about the editing stuff. So you're not into that editing process. You don't like that very
It's
much.
not
for
that I
your
don't
videos?
like it; it's that it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
Like it can be actually pretty satisfying, but there are other things I would rather do with my time,
Okay, I got you.
like
I got
make
you.
music.
But you're happy with your vids that you're putting up on YouTube.
I'm getting happier with
Okay,
them as
that's
time
good.
goes by.
Now we're gonna watch them now. I
Yeah,
gotta watch
they're
them. I didn't even
they're
know.
really, really cool. That was the surprise that
That
I
was
was
the
telling
surprise
you
you
about
told
that
me.
I didn't want to tell you. 'cause
Yeah,
it-
she told me that she had something that I wouldn't know about, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then instead of going and looking to see if I could find it, I didn't. So I wanted,
you wanted
know.
to be
I wanted to
surprised.
be surprised. So that's cool that you're doing that, though.
So the ones that would probably appeal to you the most are actually my informational videos. I'm still in the basics right now, but I have this grand vision in my head of building this web of advanced learning techniques that all come together.
Okay.
And so I post those on Sundays. And
Okay.
so I've got one on deliberate practice. I've got one on the Pomodoro technique. I'm about to put one out about how not to get distracted by your resources while you're practicing.
Okay.
And yeah, that was actually really important because my channel is all about using YouTube videos or, recording yourself, etc. And it's really easy if you've got your cell phone and and you're watching this show to be like, oh, let's watch something else. Let's watch something else. No.
Yeah, you get
no.
distracted on there.
So I actually thought it was really important to address that.
Yeah.
And so I'm about to release a video about that. But those sorts of things might interest you more than watching me squeak along in a clarinet for 5
I
minutes.
know, that'd be kind of fun too, because
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
interesting to watch you try to learn something.
Yeah. It
is
watching somebody learn
entertaining.
something's fun.
Oh, you should watch the oboe videos.
Okay,
They're pretty
okay.
entertaining.
All right.
And that's, once again, for those who are listening, that's the Resourceful Practice Project. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, on
Resourceful
YouTube.
Practice Project. Okay.
Yeah. And this is Grace Wallis, everybody. The beautiful, the talented, the extremely driven Grace Wallis.
Yes, I drove 40 minutes to get here.
It was a pleasure.
You know,
Thank you for doing so.
If you would have lived closer, you would have got here faster. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Here's the important question: was it worth the drive?
Aww.
Well, anyway, I love the drive, and then there's lovely people here, so what's not to like?
Oh, and charismatic.
Lovely.
Oh, so Aaron.
He's still stuck on that.
I know. He never gets off. Never gets off that
You never
train.
get off.
No joke.
What?
No, I remember earlier we were talking about if I'm in a closed
Wow.
room by myself. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
That's what it can happen.
I was taking us out, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
We
I
just
forgot. Sam
kept-
always
kept
closes
right
the
on
show.
going.
Again, Sam
I was
has
trying
this
to.
time meter for our
I
program.
do, and I don't want. Yeah,
That's
we
very
don't-
smart.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't
Commence.
think.
Otherwise, 4 hours later, and Aaron's still talking.
Yeah. I've done my research though on podcasting.
Anyway, that's enough. So, so yeah,
All right.
But yeah, thank you
Oh.
for mentioning that, by the way.
yeah.
So you got okay. So we're going to close out the show. Grace,
are,
thank
yes.
you for
Yes.
coming, and
Thank
it's
you for
awesome.
having me.
I can't wait to hear your music and some of the projects that you worked on here.
If you want to see more of
I can't
Grace
wait.
and get a hold of her, or you can go to her website, gracewallis.com. Or no, Grace Wallis Studios, I'm sorry. It's gracewallisstudios.com.
Well, singular, studio.
Studio.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll pop up, though, as you're
let me say
typing.
that, gracewallisstudio.com. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Thank you.
There we go. You can check her out on YouTube, IMDb, and you can go to her website to see more of her.
Or just stalk me like you did.
Social media.
Or you can stalk her like I did, which is
Actually,
really
no, please
fun
don't.
because she's super interesting. No. Don't stalk her. We'll come after you.
I will come after you. You don't want that.
No, because she has no soul.
I have no soul,
And she'll
I
call
know
Chuck if she
Taekwondo.
needs any disturbing ideas.
Yeah.
There's plenty of those in this soul. It's just dark and black. And
It was so nice to meet you and
It's lovely to meet
get
you
to know
too.
you a little better. And as Chuck always says, don't think too hard because you
we've been
don't
doing this for 2 months now, and she still can't figure it out.
don't think anymore because you're thinking too hard.
Grace, thanks for coming over today. It was nice meeting you. Thanks for having a cup of coffee with us. And think hard because you're thinking anyway.
There you go.
Don't think because you're thinking too hard. I like that one better.
I don't even know what to say, so thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks
Bye.
for hanging out with us. See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. Hey, if you'd like to be a guest on Around the Reel, please reach out to us at our website. That's www.cccentertainmentgroup.com. There, you can send us a message, and if you're an artist or creative or just want to get on the show and start talking about a bunch of shit like we do, please reach out to us and let us know. We'd love to have you. And if you also need other realms to find us in this wonderful Silicon Valley of what we call social media, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us all there. And we have a page on YouTube that we're just getting started as well. And also, if you do want to watch our feature film, you can find that on Amazon Prime right now. That movie is called The Outrider. It's our first major feature film that we did. We have a bunch more coming, but please watch that one. Let us know what you think. And anyway, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. We got more shorts coming for you, so talk to you soon.